what is going on with the DOJ? Like, what happened to transparency, accountability? What happened? It seemed like it just went out the window, with Pan Bondi, Cash Patel, Bongino. Hopefully, I'm saying his last name correctly. It's like, what happened? Did they take the blue pill and all of a sudden, like, nothing happened? Like, there's no evidence of the files. There's no client list. No one was involved except for Jeffrey Epstein. And the real question is, if it was only Jeffrey Epstein and there was no conspirators, then why is Ghislaine Maxwell serving 20 years in a federal prison? Why? If it was only just him, and that's what the DOJ said. They wrote a memo. They wrote a memo out and they sent it to the public saying that there was no blackmail, there was no evidence. There was nothing to the factor that it was just Epstein. It was just all by himself. There was no one else that was involved, even though there was 34, maybe 40. And I believe Penn Bondi said that there was like thousands of videos, multiple children that were involved, in the tapes, like pornography, that it was just him. It was just only Epstein, and there was no one else. We're not believing that. Don't gaslight us. Like, you gaslight the public. You've been saying this since February. Actually, you've been saying that the Trump campaign. Even Trump said it. There will be accountability. There will be transparency. That Epstein files will be released. JFK files will be released. Martin Luther King files will be released. And you've been talking about it in February. Went on Fox News telling the reporter that the client list is on your desk to review along with JFK files. There's going to be some accountability. And now all of a sudden you took the blue pill and like there's nothing there. You're telling the people there's nothing there. There's no evidence. There's no blackmail. There's no blacklist. There's no client names. Like, first you took the red pill and then you was going to, because you're a general attorney, okay? You're going to prosecute the people. You said that Epstein is disgusting, what he has done. And now you're just like telling the people, hey, there's nothing there. There's no evidence. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Like, come on. Like, what happened? Like, what happened to the transparency and accountability? Like, why are you protecting these pedophiles when you should be getting justice for the victims? And you call yourself the DOJ when you should call yourself the DOC, the Department of Corruption. Excuse me, corruption, because you are corrupt. You're corrupt by protecting the people that were involved in this for the last decade. You know that Jeffrey Epstein was working with intelligence. You know he was working with Israel. We all know it. Okay, we all knew this. Okay, and now you're trying to gaslight us. Oh, you didn't know? You get back to us. You're not sure. You do. Like, you make it seem like the public people are stupid, like we're dumb, like we can't handle this. We want the truth. Obviously, we don't want to see the pornographic videos. We don't want to see that. Okay, we don't want to see that. But we deserve to know the names of the perpetrators, the co-conspirators that were involved in this, so they can be punished, because it seems like they're above the law. They seem like they're above the law, that they can do whatever they want because they have money, they have connections, they have people in higher places, and for them to have it go away, for not to be investigated anymore. You have Bill Gates that's, working with higher politicians, day in and day out, giving them money, whatever the case is, because I keep hearing his name, Bill Gates, okay? That he's funding, some people, and that he just want this to go away. Why? Why? Where is accountability for these people? And then you said that you want justice for the victims. You're protecting the victims. No, you're protecting the pedophiles that's been involved in this for the last decade, and then they're running free, living their best life, doing what they know best, and you're not getting justice. I don't get it. Where was the passion, Cash Patel? In 2023, he did a podcast with Benny Johnson. He was just very passionate that the Republicans need to release the tapes, need to do the investigation, release the names of the black book, the client list. And now all of a sudden, there's no video. If there was a video, because he said it on Joe Rogan, if there was a video, what do you think I would show it? But if there was a video, like he was just being like discreet, like he didn't want to say much. You know what I mean? Like what happened? He took the blue pill because he took the red pill, all energized, all hyped that he wants justice, and now he took the blue pill. Like there's no video. If there was a video, wouldn't I just release it if there was a video? Like very discreet, no transparency. And same thing with Dan, 2023. Not trying, but want accountability of Jeffrey Epstein, of all the victims. Then this year, he killed himself. He's guilty. I know he killed himself. Nothing happened. Again, blue pill. Like, what the hell happened here? You know, I believe they were threatened, they were blackmailed, they were paid off, and say, listen, do not involve yourself in this case. Do not involve yourself in the case. Let it go. Say something to the public. Let it go. First, you hyped us up. First, you said that this is going to happen. You're going to release the names. It's been months. You have to review the tapes and everything. Okay. But they knew. They've been knew, the names of the perpetrator. They knew this. They've been doing this as Biden administrator. Okay. They knew who were involved in this, and they said nothing. They said nothing. They said nothing. Why? Because whoever is the higher up told them to shut it down. Shut it down. Like, do not involve yourself. Say whatever to the public, and that's it. And then we looked at the video, and I'm like, that's not what you said. You're lying. They're lying. Now they're trying to cover up their lie. And it seemed like everything's unfolded because now they've been lying this whole time. That they were never going to release the files. They were never going to release the names of the people that were involved in Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operation, human trafficking. They was never going to release that. They was just gaslighting us, saying that they were going to do it when they had no intention to do it anyway. And I thought this administrator would be different. I at least thought they were going to do the right thing by holding people that were involved accountable for it, and there will be justice. That's what I thought. You know what I mean? But you know what? I thought I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong that we can trust the government. We can trust the DOJ. I was absolutely wrong. I'm just so upset and disgusted by this that they rather protect the pedophiles than protect the victims. They rather let them get away and say, you know what? There's nothing there, you guys. There's nothing there. Woo, nothing there. Case closed. Forget about it. Don't talk about it anymore. But no, we should be talking about it. We should be continuing to talk about it because something is not right. Okay? Something is so absolutely wrong in this whole Epstein file. And I just hope that someone would investigate and find out, like, what the hell is going on here? What is the secrecy? What is the whole cover up? Because basically it is a cover up, you guys. And we all know it too. Because we all know that what they're saying is a lie. Okay, you can't fool the public anymore. Okay, we're not buying your rhetoric. We're not buying your bullshit lies. Okay, because it's just lies after lies after lies. When you say one lie, then you have to figure out another lie and another lie and another lie. And then when you lie so much, you can't keep track of the first lie that you said. And then everything is crumbling. You showed a video of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. When you said when he killed himself, when he committed suicide, even though we all know that someone killed him, okay, because he did not commit suicide, but they're telling the public he committed suicide. There was no footage. The camera went down. The guards went asleep. The guards were asleep, Okay, the guards falsified documents or whatever, and now all of a sudden there's footage. Where did the footage come from? Again, I don't believe that footage. I don't believe it. They want us to believe that was the footage. Jeffrey Epstein was by himself. No one didn't go in his cell. Bullshit. Okay? No one's not falling for that. Okay? You altered that video to make us think that, or make us see that Jeffrey Epstein was by himself. No one didn't go in his cell. Come on now. And 60 seconds of the footage was missing. Listen, like, who are you fooling? Like, again, they're trying to gaslight us and make us believe them and trust them. We don't trust you anymore after what you have done. Okay, we do not trust you because, again, there's no transparency, there's no accountability, there's this discrepancy of everything that they were saying. Pan Bondi, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, you know, all of it. So who should we trust? We don't trust you anymore because you have lied now to the public. You have lied. When the FBI raided his house, his mansion home in New York City, and there was bins of DVDs, tapes, passports, jewelries, everything to the T. Are you trying to tell us, the American people, there's nothing? There's nothing? Come on. You even though Jeffrey Epstein's been dead for years, you're still protecting him. You're still protecting the people from Israel because they're probably involved in this too because he was intelligence. They're protecting Israel. And it's just crazy to me. It's crazy. If you had no intention to release the files, then you should have kept your mouth shut. They should have kept their mouth shut. If you have no intention of doing all that stuff, you should have kept your mouth shut. Point blank, period. They should have kept their mouth shut. But they didn't. Again, gaslighting us. There's going to be justice. There's going to be accountability. What Jeffrey Epstein did was disgusting. And other people are going to go to prison. Well, seems like that's not going to happen, you guys. And the only one person that's serving time is Ghislaine Maxwell, 20 years. And all the rest of the men that were involved, hey, running free. And like I said, Ghislaine Maxwell should get an attorney and appeal her case. Yeah, appeal it. Let her be released. If there's no involvement with her, and like the government said, it's only just Epstein, which that's a lie, they should let her go. They should let her go. They should let her go. And then we should just stop, not talk about it, not say anything about this case. Everyone is so afraid to talk about it. Everyone is so afraid to touch this. I don't understand. And they call themselves Christians. They call themselves Christians, but they'd rather make a deal with the devil. They'd rather work with the devil instead of doing the right thing. To me, you're not Christian. To me, you're not going to the kingdom of heaven because you're supposed to protect the innocents. No one's above the law, but it seems like pedophiles are above the law because they can continue doing this over and over and over again. And you are allowing this. You're just as guilty of Epstein. I'm saying it. They're just as guilty of Epstein, the DOJ. You're disgusting because you rather be blackmailed. You rather be threatened than do the right thing. I'm sorry. If I see something, I'm going to say something. And if I have to risk my life and someone have to threaten my family, I have God on my side to protect me and my family. And so be it. So be it. So be it. But again, they rather protect themselves than protect the victims. And that's a shame. That's a shame. And I'm just utterly disgusted. I know the victims are disgusted by this. Now we have to deal with this. We thought we were going to get some justice. We thought we were going to get some transparency. And now they're telling us there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, you guys. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Again, they're taking the blue pills. They took the blue pill instead of the red pill. Okay? They want us to be in this delusional world. They want us to be in la la land by taking the blue pill and say, poof, nothing happened. There's nothing there. But I'm sticking with the red pill. I'm sticking to reality. I'm sticking to go into that rabbit hole and, finding justice. Again, evidence may be destroyed. So it may be destroyed under Joe Biden's administrator. It might be destroyed now. Or there's some evidence out there that someone has that may be exposed one day. I don't know. Just like what happened with Diddy. Someone Did he thought that the tapes that was destroyed when he beat up Cassidy in that hotel, the Intercontinental Hotel, when all reality there was a footage, there was video, there was tape. So do I believe maybe one day a tape is going to surface and be leaked? Yeah, I think so. I believe so. It will happen. When? I'm not sure. But what I can say, to be honest with you, the people that were involved in this, and also the DOJ that is covering up and lying, they're going to get their day. Okay? Because you know what? God sees everything. He hears everything. He sees everything. And there will be justice. Not from me, from God. Because you know what? When you do harm to others, especially children, especially minors, and you say that you're going to do the right thing to get justice for them, and you turn around and double down and say, oh, there's nothing there, then you're just as guilty, like I said, as Epstein. You're just as guilty. You're working with the pedophiles. You are. And I don't know how each and one of them can sleep at night, how they can lay their heads on their pillows each and every night and thinking this is okay what they're doing. Now, someone's giving the orders and telling them to shut it down, don't get involved, say what you need to say, lie, tell the American people, the public, something, which we don't buy it. We don't, because people are still talking about it. People are still talking about it. That none of this makes sense. None of it makes sense. It's all crazy. It's all crazy. And then they want us to be in crazy land. Well, we're not. We're not going to be in cuckoo land, crazy land, because people that were investigating Epstein from the beginning, they know. They know. Mark Epstein, he knew that his brother did not commit suicide. He knew. He had a medical examiner, a profound medical examiner, Michael Batten, examine Jeffrey Epstein's body. Okay? He said this was not a suicide. This was a homicide. Coming from his words, you guys. His words. That it could not be a suicide when Jeffrey Epstein's neck, 3 of his bones were broken due to strangulation. Okay? Strangulation, you guys. So, and the way his neck was positioned. So Dr. Batten, seen many bodies, okay? Examined many bodies. He knows the difference between a strangulation and someone hanging themselves. He's, again, a world profound pathologist and doctor. He knows the difference. But then when you have Cash Patel say, he killed himself. I know. I can just tell. How can you tell? You're not a doctor, dude. You're the FBI director. So you can't say you know or you can tell when you're not a doctor. That's foolishness. Foolishness. When you have a medical expert who sees this day in and day out throughout his whole career, and he knows and he can tell the difference. Again, like I said, and I'm going to keep saying it, the medical examiner, the woman who examined Epstein's body in New York, she falsified the records. She lied because someone told her to do that. Someone told her, listen, I need you to say X, Y, and Z on the autopsy report. Make it look like it was a suicide instead of homicide. Even though in her mind, she's probably thinking, oh my gosh, this man did not kill himself. She probably knew from the get-go. She knew. But again, someone got to her, blackmailed her, threatened her family to tell her, you need to do this. Come on. It's obvious here, you guys. This is the government, okay? This is the government of the United States. You think that they don't have higher power? You think they don't have connections and threaten people to tell people, I want this to go away. I need you to falsify medical documents, even though that's illegal? Come on. We all know this. We're not stupid, okay? This is the government. They've been falsifying records, for decades, okay? Decades. And what makes you think they wouldn't do that now with Epstein? Again, like I said, why this man would kill himself when he had an attorney and the next day, he had bail hearing, okay? He had a bail hearing sentencing and he was going to pay a lot of money to be released. So why would he kill himself when he knew that he had a bail sentence the next day. And a lot of people didn't know about this, except for his brother, his attorney. Maybe someone else got got wind of it, because they knew that Jeffrey Epstein was intelligent. They knew that maybe Epstein would flip. Maybe they knew Epstein will release some names, give names out, and we don't know that. And then it was not willing. The people who was involved in this, they were not willing to take that chance. So what they did, they had a plan, because Jeffrey Epstein was supposed to have a prison inmate with him. That prison inmate got transferred all of a sudden. Okay, cameras was not working. The guards were not patrolling his cell because he was on suicide watch. You would think, if this man was on suicide watch, where were the guards? They were sleeping, supposedly. Okay, they were falsifying records. Okay, told lies. This was an inside job, okay, to make it look like it was a suicide. Probably paid one of the inmates to eliminate Epstein. Listen, this is all is obvious. And then mess up his cell, pull all the sheets and stuff like that to make it look like a suicide, when obviously I'm not even a medical examiner. And when I looked at the pictures in his cell, I'm like, really? This was all staged. It looked like a stage. His cell was contaminated. People were coming in and out. No one didn't do their thorough investigation. Say, listen, this is a crime. Please don't go in there until we have someone investigate and do their crime scene. None of that. Too many bodies was in that cell. Too many contamination. They knew what they were doing. They knew. But they gaslight us, saying that, oh, he killed himself. Case closed. Case closed. Well, you guys, I just have to say, I'm very disappointed. I really am. There's not going to be any justice for these victims. You know, the DOJ, they really should be ashamed of themselves. They really should. And I hope and pray maybe there will be justice. I'm not sure. Maybe there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. I hope so. Because you know what? God will do this. God will deliver. Because you know what? God doesn't like corruption. God doesn't like people lying. God doesn't like when innocent children are being abused and then they're just letting these people get away with this. And they have been getting away with this for a very long time. And when things are in the dark, God will bring it to the light. He will. He always will. He's always on time. And I truly believe that he will bring it to the light. Maybe the DOJ don't want to bring it to the light because they're too afraid, they're too scared. They don't want to do what's right because they're so afraid of the person that threatened them or blackmailed them or told them to shut it down, instead of being empowered and say, listen, no, we're not doing this. We're not shutting it down. The public deserve the truth. They deserve some transparency. And the victims too. They should stand up. But no, they're cowards. They're cowards. Okay? And it's disgusting. They're disgusting. And they're just as guilty as Jeffrey Epstein. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Look, part of these problems as well that adds to all of this is Bondi's own claim back in February when she was doing an interview with Fox News where she said she had the client list on her desk for review. Now, she was pressed on some of these questions yesterday during the president's cabinet meeting and tried to argue that she was referring to the broader case. I want you to take a listen to both that interview but also her response.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that.
Now, look, we talked to a lot of different people following Bondi's answer there yesterday in that cabinet room who said essentially they are not satisfied by that answer, particularly given so many people in the MAGA movement, so many of the president's supporters, and including even some people in his own administration had previously argued that there was so much more to this case, particularly wanting to unearth potential accomplices to Jeffrey Epstein, not totally satisfied by this. Now,
there was one report that said it was multiple affairs. Do you care to say anything about that?
You know, I think those are questions Bill needs to answer.
Okay. You know, it was also widely reported that Bill had a friendship or business or some kind of contact with Jeffrey Epstein, and that you were not, that was very upsetting to you. Did that play a role in the divorce at all in this process?
Yeah, as I said, it's not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him. I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. So, you know, my heart breaks for these young women because that's how I felt. And here I'm an older woman. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It was awful.
You felt that the moment you walked in? I didn't realize that.
He was awful.
Yeah. And you shared that with Bill, and he still continued to spend time with him?
Any of the questions remaining about what Bill's relationship there was, those are for Bill to answer.
Okay.
But I made it very clear how I felt about him.
So Dr. Michael Baden, who participated or was present at the autopsy, has participated in over 1,000 autopsies of prison deaths.
I have never seen 3 fractures like this in a suicidal hanging. Going over 1,000 jail hangings, suicides in the New York City state prisons over the past 40, 50 years, no one had 3 fractures.
His fairly firm conclusion is that this was not a suicide. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. He was holding off on that determination, pending determination of how the body was found, which we finally, now that they say the way the body was found, it just only shows that it was not that way. The autopsy shows it's not that way, which further convinced Dr. Baden that this was not a hanging, not a suicide.
Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
Tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going.
Do you feel safe because there's threats on your life? So do you feel safe?
Yes, I feel safe. I don't have any safety issues.
Because as you told me, jails are sometimes dangerous, and Jeffrey Epstein died in jail. Do you believe that he committed suicide? Because many don't.
No, he didn't. I don't believe he did. I believe that he was murdered.
She has no shame, she has no heart, she has no conscience.
For Virginia Giuffre and survivors like her, there is no disputing the facts. As the court found, Ghislaine Maxwell procured underage girls for Jeffrey Epstein. She groomed them, sexually abused and trafficked them. In many ways, some say, she was even worse than the despicable Epstein.
I don't mean to sound sexist in any way, shape, or form, but I expected it from a man, but I didn't expect it from a woman. And, yeah, I think that's what hurts the most.
What do you make of Ghislaine Maxwell's decision to speak from jail like this?
It wasn't a surprise. It wasn't a surprise because it gives her still that feeling that she's in control, even behind bars. And I think she's doing it for attention.
Randy Kogan is a psychologist based in Florida's Palm Beach.
Okay, slow down so I can understand. Tell me what happened.
For years now, she's been treating women who, as girls, were abused by Epstein and Maxwell. Is she a monster?
I think in many ways she is. What Ghislaine did, she hunted, she preyed on these girls and procured them for sexual exploitation and sex trafficking. That's a monster.
But from behind bars, Maxwell is determined to present a selfless side as she discusses her future with brother Kevin.
If you, when you win your appeal and get out of prison, do you think you'll be accepted again by the people who were once your friends?
Well, I can't know what my friends will do or won't do. I mean, my focus won't be on that. I will always turn to what I've now decided that will form the rest of my life, which is helping other people who are or have been incarcerated.
I just would like to thank you so much, and it's such an honor to be here.
Attaching herself to causes is not new for Ghislaine Maxwell.
I'm here representing civil society.
It was not that long ago, in an attempt to distance herself from Epstein, her great passion was to save the planet's oceans.
The deep sea and the wild animals that live there.
Now it's other inmates and, of course, herself, with yet another spin on her relationship with former boyfriend Epstein.
when you look back, and what you think your biggest mistake was?
I obviously wish I'd never met her, because I didn't know that he was so awful. I mean, obviously now, looking back with hindsight, of course.
Do you consider yourself a victim of Jeffrey?
Well, I don't love the use of the word victim. But clearly, the fact that I worked for him and that I spent time with him and knew him has devastated my life and hurt many people that I love and hold dear that are around me.
Do you believe that?
I don't. I believe that Jeffrey Epstein was an opportunity to her, and I believe that she was an opportunity to Jeffrey Epstein. Without Jeffrey, I don't believe that Ghislaine could have maintained the lifestyle that her father gave her for most of her life.
Well, he paid her $30 million.
That's exactly right. And he got plenty in return.
If Ghislaine is a victim of anyone, according to Randy Cogan, it is most likely her domineering father, the disgraced media baron, Robert Maxwell. He fleeced hundreds of millions of dollars from his employees' pension funds before his body was found floating in the Atlantic Ocean, having apparently fallen overboard from his yacht, the Lady Ghislaine. The official cause of his mysterious death in 1991 was heart attack and accidental drowning. But in echoes of her response to Epstein's suicide, Ghislaine believes in something more sinister, as she revealed in this interview in 1992.
What do you feel? What happened to him? You'll never know, so you'll never be 100% sure of exactly what took place. The only thing I'm sure of is that he did not commit suicide.
I feel that Robert and Jeffrey have very similar qualities. And I feel that Ghislaine spent most of her life trying to please her father. And her father groomed her to be this socialite, to learn how to read people and manipulate and exploit people.
People who spent time with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein when they were together say that Ghislaine was deeply in love with Jeffrey Epstein, that she would do anything for him. Can what happened to those girls be categorised as an act of love? That she was acting out of love for Jeffrey, and that's why she did these despicable things?
I don't